I finished up my job and didn't really know. I was looking for something else, and that was right around the same time that Dave and Charlie and those guys were getting ready to start Humdinger. And so they were homebrewing to learn how to actually brew, so they could open Humdinger. And they invited me along to join them in their first homebrew. So their first ever brew was my first ever brew.
Oh yeah.
And then right after that, I got a job in Shenzhen teaching biology. So I moved down to Shenzhen, but continued homebrewing there and joined up with the Shenzhen Homebrew Club and worked with them a lot and learned a lot with those guys. And Humdinger needed a new brewer. They were planning on expanding. So Dave reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to come back to Kunming to work for them. So yeah, then worked with them for 2.5 years, and then these guys approached me about opening Chaba, jumped ship and came over here.
So you've been in Kunming for how long?
Altogether, I was in Kunming for 2.5 years before, and I've been back for about 3 years, 3.5 years now. It's kind of like that throughout China, though. A lot of us.
wondering it as well, like because in Beijing, we just don't know because the scene is much bigger in Beijing, so we don't really know if the brewers are all friends or not.
Yeah, quite a bit. There's definitely a little bit of a group of like the foreign brewers stick together quite a bit, and the Chinese brewers stick together.
There's a lot more like these chains, so they're so big where I wouldn't even know where to begin to find brewmasters, whatever they're called.
We have a couple groups on WeChat where for all the foreign brewers and just the brewing community, where if somebody is looking for something or needs help with something like that, with something that they can reach out to the brewing community. And so we all kind of get together and chat on that. Like we'll throw our 2 cents in if somebody's having a problem. The brewing community in China is really supportive. So it's a really cool group.
I wonder if it's more supportive here in China because of the amount of foreigners here compared to like if you were in the States, for example. Like there's probably more assumptions that there's more brewers in the States, but I don't know if the community is as tight knit as it would be here.
I think it is. I think the brewing community in general is pretty tight.
Oh yeah.
I have a couple brewer friends in the States, and they know a bunch of other brewers in different parts of the country, and they talk and do that. So I think it's about the same. I've heard stories in the States of like a brewery couldn't get some hops that they needed in time or something like that, so they just reach out to another brewery and those guys will load it to them and stuff like that. We do a little bit of that here as well. If Humdinger needs something or Nana needs something or something like that.
It's more of a supportive perspective rather than competitive. Like obviously there's different businesses and you need to make money, of course, but it's nice that everyone's so supportive.
I think for us, our idea is brewers in Kunming is if we support each other and everybody's making good beer, then it kind of just builds up that craft brew community in Kunming. And so there's just more people to share our beer with in general if we can work with each other to reach out to more consumers.
Were you looking to open up a place at the time, or was it just luck that you found?
Yeah, they approached me probably 2 years ago about this project while I was at Humdinger. And I was waiting for things to happen at Humdinger and they just weren't really happening. And so I was kind of looking for a new project. And so when they approached me, I was pretty 50-50 with them. But then as there just wasn't a whole lot of progress with the new Humdinger projects, I decided that it'd be a lot of fun to come over here and join this new project that they were working on. I mean, starting your own brewery from scratch is just such an adventure, and building all the new brews and stuff like that. And so we started looking for a place the beginning of 2020. So we were getting our funding together and things like that. And Teddy and I were brewing at his place, so we were home brewing on his balcony, just working on recipes. We found a place right over in Nanchangjian that we really liked. We started setting up a contract with them about renting the place. Every time we would go back to them, their offer would change. So it started out with a 5-year contract. The price was really nice and stuff like that. And then we went back and we're like, oh, we can't do 5 years. We can do 4 years. And we're like, maybe 4 years we can work with that. We drew up a contract And then the contract that they gave us had it at 3 years, and also the price per square meter was quite a bit higher. And if you guys are like already jerking us around like that, like what happens when we have to sign a new contract? So we just decided not to do that. And so we still like this area, so we would just get together on e-bikes and just kind of cruise around and look for vacant places. And so this was right around when a bit after COVID was kicking off. And so we stumbled on this place, but from the outside it looked really small. But we got the number anyway, and Tim came back to check it out. And it turns out it's this huge hot pot place. And so we got in touch with the landlord, and they gave us awesome terms on the contract. And we're like, all right, it's a little bit smaller than what we were thinking of originally, but we'll make it work. And yeah, we did. So yeah.
It's a fun little. What does chaba mean?
So chaba is a local term, so it's Kuminghua for kind of a loud mouth. So it's like when you're at the pub and you're having a conversation with somebody, and then like some other guy like comes in and butts in and he's like, oh, let me tell you about that. And he's like a know-it-all and kind of dominates the conversation. That's a chaba. So Mimon's Kuminghua is amazing. And so I don't remember exactly how he came up with it, but I think him and his wife were kind of just like throwing some ideas around. His wife's a local, and this was one of the ideas that they came up with. And so we wanted the name to be really, really local because we want the vibe of this place to be really local. We want it to be very Kunming, very Yunnan. We were trying to think of what kind of food we wanted to do here. Most brew pubs do Western food.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but foreigners are gonna come.
Yeah,
They like beer.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, our favorite Chinese food is Thai food anyway. And so nobody's doing Chinese food with their craft beer. Why don't we do it? And you can't get more Yunnan than Thai food.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do that, and then we went on a huge mission finding a chef. We interviewed I think like 80 different chefs or something like that before we found Lao Zhu, and he's turned out to be amazing. So just really wanted to keep the place local. You see it in the decoration we've done. Like we have the mud, the red mud on the wall over here in like the VIP room. The painting that we got done by this local artist here that shows this street, but more in an older setting. But it has chaba in there, and then it has the north gate, and it has the two pagodas, things like that behind it. And then the umbrellas, of course, are like a local touch. And we also wanted to keep like the vibe of this place. So this place originally was a pastry factory. And so this place that we're sitting in now was the dormitory, and then back there was the factory. And so that's why we kept all the brick and stuff like that. That's all the original brick from the factory.
I thought you guys put it up.
Well, we put these ones up, but those walls, main walls, that's the original brick from when this place was originally built. And you can see the divide. So in the middle, where the columns change their space. There's a thing that was just kind of built to join these two buildings together. So we wanted to keep that history of there. Teddy found a picture of this street in an old book that he has of old Kunming photos, and this place is in here. The place next door, the antique market, wasn't there, but this one was here. So this is one of the original places here from like the 50s or something like that. Yeah, it kind of all tied in really well with us finding this place and the idea that we wanted with everything. We're working on doing a bit more delivery now.
With the growlers.
We'll also food. We're looking at getting a small bar top canning machine, so we can start doing some cans to go, like delivery for Meituan and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll start soon. We're getting that going, so we're always just kind of building on what we're doing. So we have an idea, but it's like you have to get the kitchen and the beer going first before you can even think about delivering it. So
I walk around so that way she's not crying in the middle of what you're trying to say.
sure.